your job as a parent is finished after you provide biological material. And there you have to keep them alive, but it's really like hands off, and like, can you let that person develop as they are?
Oof.
And not, yeah, yeah.
Oof,
And can you
beautiful.
not put your burdens on them, your programming, your musts and your shoulds? Can you try to clear that as much as possible and just let that soul develop as they're supposed to develop?
It's your spirit, yourself. It's the partner, and then it's the child.
Yeah.
I've seen so many people having a child as a first, that's their like life only.
Like, how are you saying that it's a lifelong commitment and at the same time I'm free? And I'm like, because it's a choice and because you can. Like, I know that. Hello and welcome to another episode of Grow, Flow, and Thrive. You're here with Anna and Judita, and today we have an interesting question. Judita, how about you introduce this one?
Hi. Yes, I love this question. Even though I don't have children, I really, really love it. So the question is, why do we put our children first? And why do we put our children first if we want to have a real relationship with somebody, or like very intimate relationship? So why do we kind of keep sabotaging ourselves and we put the child first, and then we are surprised that it's not working, that we can't find the real partner, or we can't be with somebody?
And how to get out of that, I think we also want to,
and how to get out of that. That's for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to start off with this one, or should I?
Well, actually, I love that you have children, so I'm like, go first.
Okay. Yeah. So I do have two kids, and so one of the things that Judita and I spoke about before recording is the hierarchy that I will bring up, but I first want to address of just getting so crystal clear on what your priorities are, right? Because it's whether it's intimacy, whether it's a particular job, maybe it's your own business, maybe it's your body and your health. When we're there setting that priority, it has to be a non-negotiable. Because a lot of us are just like, oh yes, that would be nice, or I'm super excited. And then a lot of it's kind of like life gets in the way. Life is an excuse to not go for that which you want. So a client of mine actually recently, she shared that she said, well, I followed my heart's calling and that didn't work out. And I followed, then I had this other, spur of intuition, and I followed that and that didn't work out. I'm like, define workout. She's like, well, that kept being obstacles. And I'm like, are you under the impression that when you follow that which is right for you, when you follow that intuition, that the path is just going to be clear? She's like, well, yes. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. In fact, when you prioritize something, it's you getting tested of how committed are you to it really. So the odds are you're going to have more obstacles. So when we're there committing, this is no exception with this. It's like when we're there, yes, I want intimacy. I want to, whether you are already with a partner, with the father of the children, or maybe when you're looking for, or rather, I don't like the word looking, calling in that person. And you're there like, yes, I want to focus on my intimate life and my love life and have that relationship and partnership. You're going to have things come up. I had even single friends who are there, like men who are there like, yes, I want to welcome in this woman into my life. And they had this deep fear of intimacy, and they would keep self-sabotaging. I remember a friend of mine, like, he was getting very close to the woman. He broke his leg at some point because he didn't want to go on vacation with her. Not consciously, obviously, but I brought this to his attention. I'm like, do you notice that every time you're getting really serious with a woman, something happens and like you can't keep going, like, and it's a pattern for you? So this may be subconscious, but just really bringing it to awareness. This is my goal, let's say, for the next 6 months. It seems like a long time, but like 3 months or maybe 1 month, and just see what happens, because the mind operates in sprints. And the other thing is the hierarchy, which I want to address. And that is one of the things my teacher shared, and this is something that I actually came to on my own as well a few years back, that the hierarchy for me is my relationship with spirit, then my relationship with self, my relationship with partner, and then my relationship with children. Because if I don't prioritize spirit, if I don't prioritize this essence and connection, I'm getting lost in my ego stories. If I don't prioritize myself and my partnership with myself, my ego, my inner child, I have nothing to give to others. I get lost in others, in my partner. If I can't prioritize my relationship with partner, I don't have anything to give to the kids, because oftentimes, especially when you're there, like because you mentioned before we started recording that, what if you're a single parent and that comes up, we often are afraid of intimacy, so we focus on our children, and we create, like a lot of people create, make that child a surrogate for that love that they actually want to give to their partner. So it's kind of like, you're my entire world, because I don't feel that with anyone else. And I know that my mother did that. I grew up with that, and I've seen a lot of single parents do that as well. So getting really crystal clear on that, where that hierarchy is and where that needs to be adjusted. And it doesn't happen like momentarily. This is something that, it's a muscle, especially when you're not used to putting yourself first, or you're used to putting your children first, or that is that validation that, I'm worth something because my kids could turn out in a particular way. This is also something I grew up with. It's going to be difficult to do that. So like, just, are you willing? So how about you, Judita? What is your take on
Yeah,
this?
no, I actually love it, Anna, because you are like, for me, what is coming up like is what is it that I'm actually teaching my children when I'm like, showing them that I am there for the child, but I'm not there for myself, for what my
Yes.
needs are, for what I want. So if your child is on the first place and you do everything and you say, I have no time for my partner, for some new relationship or for new intimacy, to like enter my life, this is what you are basically teaching your child. Once the child like grows up, it's like, well, I have to be there for my child only. I have no real life, like I
Yeah.
should be not there for my partner, and my happiness comes second. So this
Yes.
is like what is coming for me. And when you said the
Hierarchy.
hierarchy, oh my God, hierarchy. No, I can't pronounce it, and that's okay. So I love when I heard you saying that, when you actually said that it's your spirit, yourself, it's the
Partner.
partner, and then it's the child.
Yeah.
I've seen so many people having a child as a first,
Mm.
that's
Yeah.
their like life only.
Yeah.
And but I really don't want to or when I have a child, I really don't want to go into it, because I believe that when you go into your self-care and into what is it that you want and how you feel, and into your needs, then you will be happy and your child will be happy, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yes.
So yeah, that's
I was
probably
recently
my
speaking to a kindergarten teacher who was saying that she is like, she can't openly say it to parents, but she was there just can you just focus on you? Like, go on dates, take yourself out, or go out with your partner, and just the child will be happy when you're happy. And
yeah.
that's so important. And what you're teaching there, like you said, it's like you're teaching the child that it's okay for them to put them first. I recently, just yesterday, actually had a conversation with someone, and this person was like, because I was like, I'm free, and I have like my freedom with my kids, even though they're both under 10. And he was saying, it's like, how can you say like that's a lifelong commitment? Because I was there saying like, it's not a puppy for Christmas, because a lot of kids are like people there, and I was referring especially to men, but also women. It's kind of like, oh, that would be so nice to have a child, and they're so cute and they're adorable. It's kind of like, no, it's not like a puppy for Christmas. Like, it would be so cute. Like, you have to understand that it's not just 15 years as a puppy. It's a lifelong commitment. When you have adult children, like, that's still a relationship to build if that's what you choose to do. And so he, at some point, he listened to my messages and he was like, how are you saying that it's a lifelong commitment and at the same time I'm free? And I'm like, because it's a choice, and because you can. Like, I know that, I worked really hard, especially after my spiritual shift of like disconnecting from my children. I remember Sadhguru has a beautiful talk about how your job as a parent is finished after you provide biological material. And there you have to keep them alive, but it's really like hands off, and like, can you let that person develop as they are? And
Oof.
not, yeah, yeah. And
Oof,
can you
beautiful.
not put your burdens on them, your programming, your musts and your shoulds? Can you try to clear that as much as possible and just let that soul develop as they're supposed to develop? And we're there like, but I think this is best. And right. And it's kind of like, again, I grew up with that parent who's like, I have to put my child on a pedestal because my worth is in that child. And whenever we're there, just putting someone else first above us, I do want to emphasize, and this is something I do over and over with clients, it's never about the other person. It's about you. It's not what we seek outside. There's nothing outside of us. It's within us. I remember I had this really powerful session with a man who we're going into death. And I asked, well, he said, I would be sad if my children died. And I'm like, why? And I know this may sound really blunt and like really cool. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, just wait for it. I asked why. And he said, well, what do you mean? Like, I would be upset if they were dead. I'm like, why? Like, go into that, actually feel that fully, like it happened and there you are. What are you feeling? And I brought God to him through this. And with this particular client, it was a father wound. So he was like, what it got to the bottom of was, if my children are dead, then I do not have the opportunity to show my father that I could have been a better dad and that he fucked up. So
Ooh.
yeah, and this is something that I did with my mother as well, because my mother was like this whole like, martyr, I'm doing everything for you, but I actually had a really abusive childhood. And I got into this, like, there was a lot of anger towards her because I realized like she didn't do it for me. And there was a story of like, I'm sacrificing my life for you and I'm doing all of this and I can't have this because of you. And it was actually like, she didn't do it for me. She did it for her own validation, because she grew up in a family where she had low self-worth and she wanted to prove herself that if her child has this kind of education, if she's this and this and that, then she did well, she accomplished something in her life. So it's not possible to put someone else above yourself, because subconsciously there will still be this, I abandoned myself, whether it's for a person, whether it's for a child, whether it's for a job. If you don't put yourself first, there's always going to be a lack of, because you're not true to yourself, you're not true in your integrity. And if you're not true in your integrity, how can you possibly be in integrity for somebody else?
I so love this. And please, like, I would probably finish with this because this is so beautiful. And I'm wondering, let us know down below in the comments, how good are you at prioritizing yourself, or if it's your child who you are prioritizing all the time, and then you feel that something is not in alignment, it's not working out. So let us know down below in the comments or share
And
the
I do want to
video.
emphasize just admitting even that's like, I'm shitty at this, because that's part of the growth, like just like a real assessment of where is it that you are, and just being like, I'm actually at a 2, you know, from like 1 to 10, I'm like, I'm at a 2 for that. And like that, there's power in that.
Yes, so because I would love to know. So let us know down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.